Hello. If you're new here, I'm Lex. I do makeup, I do skincare, I do hair care, I do lookbooks, fashion, and travel. But today, what I wanted to do was a little more skincare stuff. I have a new routine, and as you can see, we're healing. I was recently cursed a little bit, and my tretinoin got into very sensitive spots because I was focusing on some things that I shouldn't have on my face, open situation. And when the tretinoin got in there, it just escalated and made it worse. And I ended up with a chemical burn. Plus the curse. Just kidding. So I counter the curse by one, avoiding putting my tretinoin there. And actually I avoided by putting it on at all for a few days, just to really make sure that it didn't get anywhere near there, because you know, it could still be on your fingers, that whole thing, when you put other stuff on top of it. But anyway, so my first move when I get up in the morning, usually I shower, but I showered last night, so this is more like my nighttime routine. So I'll make sure my face is completely clean. I have an oil cleanser that I wipe everything off, and then I use a hot makeup, reusable makeup pad, and I just press that on my face. I do a hot compress, as hot as I can stand it, for about 30 seconds on each section of my face. And then I will grab my fan and I will blow it so that it's nice and cool, and it just tightens everything, and it gets rid of a lot of blemishes that I have. I just have to remember to do it every night. That's my problem. Morning and night, I have to remember to do it, and then it is most effective. But if you skip days, it will not be effective. It also feels really good and amazing. So it's just like a little mini spa. I do have a steamer, but for some reason, like really pressing the towel against your face is just, it's just a whole nother level of just comfort, and it seems to work better. Also, it doesn't like seep into your lips, which once that steam can get on your lips, it can dry them out. So you want to be very, very careful. But when you do it with a rag, or like, you know, like your makeup pad, it's just like this really fluffy, you know, makeup remover pad. It doesn't affect your lips the same way, and it just is more effective on the face, is what I've noticed. Anyway, so after I put on my tretinoin, I go in with this retinol, and it is for your entire body, which is why it's so big. The thing is, I've also noticed how incredibly effective, like it has changed my skin in an incredible way. And so I'm very careful with it, but also I just also realize how very powerful it is, especially when you're using it with the tretinoin, which retinol is, you know, a lot, but it is also very effective, and the texture of my skin is smoother and brighter and more youthful looking. It is really, truly remarkable. I love it. So that's this retinol. I just get it off of Amazon. It's $20, but it's this whole thing. And the reason why there's not a lot left, because I use it on my entire body. But yeah, so I let that get in and seep it in. And then after that, I will be putting on my Good Molecules Squalane oil. So I'm just gonna let this sit for a few more seconds, and then I'll put the oil on. So I really love this squalane oil because it's a moisturizer that you can also put, I'm really like at the lowest amount right now, but I have another container. You can put it everywhere, including, this is what I really love, on your lips. And the point of this is to make sure that all the moisturizers that you use actually stay in the skin. Now, you're going to want to keep this on for 30 seconds at least. I have to put it right here too, because this is really where the chemical burn was. But anyway, it says to, before you put anything else on, you want to make sure you have it on for your skin to absorb into your skin for at least 30 seconds. So what I tend to do is I tend to make myself busy and start another thing, not face related, or I'll do my whole skincare routine on the body if this is like right after I'd gotten out of the shower, and then I'll get back to my face after I put this oil on. But literally I will put this on and let it set, and what I'll do is like I'll start putting clothes away just so that I can still feel like I'm doing something while it's also setting into the skin. So actually, I'm gonna go do that right now because I like for it to set. What's also really nice about it is that it doesn't leave, once it's set, it doesn't leave an oily residue on the skin. So you can literally, and I am an oily girl, so this is very important to me. I like to leave it on as long as possible before I start putting anything else on, because I want it to get to the point where it no longer feels like it's on the skin anymore before I move on to the next product that I use for my skin. So I'm gonna put some stuff away and I'll be right back. Okay. So for the most part, that oil has really gotten absorbed, and it's amazing because instead of my skin feeling oily, as an oily girl, it just feels really soft and definitely moisturized. And here, especially on my lips, what's really nice about it is that when I put my Aquaphor on top of it, it really keeps it nice and hydrated and feel amazing. And this is why all the chemical burn really healed so quickly. The squalene and the Aquaphor, and just making sure that that area stayed moisturized, was a game changer. This is something new that I started. I accidentally ordered this. It's called Force Shield, and it's like a giant chapstick, but for your face. And what it's supposed to do is keep everything sealed in, but also it's nice and it just feels amazing. But it also, sorry, my voice sounds weird when I put it on my throat. Weird. Is supposed to have other nutrition for your face. What I really like about it is after you put it on, it absorbs almost immediately, and there's such little waiting time for it to be absorbed into the skin before you can move on to the next thing, which again I love because it leaves zero residue, but it keeps the skin moisturized and healthy and happy, in my experience. Now, it does tingle on my sensitive spots, which you know is not the best thing, but I do want to make sure that I'm keeping that area hydrated and healthy and happy. After that, so that's all the skincare stuff that I do. And as you can see, you know, I still have blemishes. This is my face absolutely naked. So now we're going to get into kind of like the makeup aspect, like the evening of my skin tone, my everyday look, if you will. So the first thing I do before I put anything makeup wise else on my face is this. Again, this is the same brand, Hero. It is called a Rescue Balm, and it is a red correction. Basically, what I love about this is it completely evens out the skin tone, and it makes it look like you don't even need foundation. Now, if you have blemishes like I do, you're gonna need something that has a little bit more of a coverage power. But if you don't, and you just want an even skin tone, this is all you're gonna need. However, I do not recommend doing that, only because The most important part of your skin routine is making sure you put on SPF, especially on your face, everywhere, obviously, but especially if you're trying to do the whole anti-aging thing. SPF is going to protect and save your skin from sun damage and premature aging. Now that's just with that color corrector, and it is quite remarkable. You can still see that I do have blemishes. Like I said, it doesn't cover the blemishes completely. It does tone down the redness though, so that when I do put on my BB cream, which, as you know, is very, very important because it has SPF in it, it makes it a better coverage, because this is a very light coverage, a very sheer tint, if you will. So once again, it is doing essentially what I want, what the color corrector is doing, which is evening out the skin tone, but it's doing it a little bit more because it's going to cover the blemishes better, in the sense of, you know, with the combination of the two. So I literally just use clean hands to do this. And I also make sure that I get it on my eyelids, because once again, it has that SPF, and the SPF is what you need to protect your skin from premature aging and, you know, obviously cancers and sun damage, all that stuff. You want to make sure you're putting on SPF every day, even if you have no intention of going outside. You are still getting sun rays in your windows. I mean, unless you live under a rock literally and never see the sun, put your SPF on. Put it on. And that's it. That's really in terms of that. The last thing I do is a powder foundation. I put that on last though, because I use it as kind of like my final translucent powder, except it's not. I use it as like my setting powder. Let's put it that way. But it's not. It's a little bit more coverage, and yeah. So now I'm gonna do my blush, then my eyebrows, and I guess I'll do lips. I don't know. Sometimes I just do a pretty lip tint because, you know, it's simple, it's tinted, it doesn't come off. So I really like that about that. And it doesn't feel like there's anything on your lips. Again, I love that. So let's get started with the blush. This is my favorite blush. It is e.l.f. Monochromatic Multi-Stick. You can also use it on your lips. As you can see, that is as high as it goes. I use it daily and I love it. It is in the color Glimmering Guava. I really love, I make it kind of look like a heart. That's how I put it. This is the placement of my blush. If you want to put a little color on your lip without putting any lipstick on or whatever, you can use that for it as well. I love the coral colors. I think that a coral is complementary on every skin tone. I think that is the case for every skin tone because it's got an orange hue to it, and essentially human skin tones. This is just me coming from a film perspective when you're kind of, and photography, when you're trying to correct skin tones or brighten them or whatever. We are all, like, skin tone is all just shades of orange. And that's why like a orangey hue for a blush is going to be the most complementary on every skin tone, which is why when I see a coral skin blush, I always gravitate towards that. That is going to be my favorite. A cooler pink, not for me. I am a coral blush gal. After I put the blush on, I do my eyebrows. So we will brush those through, and then I'm gonna put the color on. I really do need, how much do I have left? All right, not bad, not bad. Okay. I really do need to trim my eyebrow hairs because they're looking a little wild, but you know, here we are. So the way I do this is I go underneath first and I try to create, this is how I like to do my brows. I try to create the straightest line while also following the hairs of my eyebrow. I have often fantasized about doing microblading, but it is so expensive. And my other concern is I don't want it to get muddy looking, you know, with all those really thin tattoo, things, stripes. I just feel like it could start, after a few years, it could start to get a little muddy looking. I have been doing my eyebrows in the same shape forever. I've only just in my opinion right now, perfected that shape. So I'm not worried about eyebrows and like their style going in and out of style. Like that's not a concern for me when it comes to microblading. I just really want to make sure that it looks real and natural. I would love to never have to do my eyebrows again. Like just wake up and my eyebrows look amazing. That's what I want. Oh God. See, it's just, see, if it's already perfect, I don't have to spend time trying to perfect it. You know what I'm saying? Not that eyebrows are hard for me, just they take time, you know? And it would just be one less thing for me to worry about. So I'm just gonna color this in and then brush it through so it looks a little more natural. This one usually turns out looking better than this one, and so then I have to like go back and forth, and you know, it's a whole thing. Like I said, if I had it microbladed and I never had to worry about it, oh, I would totally do that in a heartbeat. Wouldn't even be a second thought, but I'm not a millionaire, so we're just going to spend $25 on my favorite Anastasia eyebrow pencil in granite and live that life, I guess. I wonder if I would save money. Would I save like the equivalent of $1,000 if my eyebrows were just done for years? Should I do the math? Should I see? Anyway, we'll figure out the microblading one day. The last thing I use on my brows is the Brow Wow Tinted Gel. I like it because it just keeps the hairs in place. And if I just don't feel like using my eyebrow pencil, which is a very rare occasion, but like if I'm literally going out and I'm like, I am just putting BB cream on and nothing else, I will use the Brow Wow just to kind of make sure my eyebrows have some kind of shape that, you know, makes sense. And, you know, looks a little fuller. And that just keeps everything in place. I guess I could show you. I used to actually just use the Brow Wow, but I just love the way the pencil really makes my eyebrows look. It's just, this is how I love my eyebrows, you know? Sorry. Gotta have some more matcha. After that, I will do my lips. Now, like I said before, I have my Good Molecules Squalane oil on them already. I will sometimes put a little bit more, and obviously in the corners where the chemical burn is, just because, you know, I want to make sure I'm really taking care of that area. Any extra I have, I'll put on my neck, but I actually always put on all of these things on my neck because I'm trying, want to make sure everything's, you know, like it would be so funny to have like this youthful face and then the neck of, you know, the turkey neck, a vagina, you know, like a Trump neck, you know. I can't believe I said his name. I hate him. Anyway, by the way, make sure you vote so that you still have rights and can vote after the election. If you know, you know. Also look up Project 2025. Don't do this to yourself. Anyway, you can say that he denies it, but that's the reality. Like 2025 has been the Republican plan since Reagan. So he might not know everything, but they just have to compliment him a few times and he'll do whatever they want. You know what I mean? Pay off some of his debts. They'll do whatever he wants. That's all I'm saying about that. So make sure you look up what Project 2025 is and you vote so that you can continue to have rights. Moving on. Please vote. What we're going to do, I just got this. This is a brand new product and I'm obsessed with it. It is a Miss A lip stain. It's called a Magic Girl lip stain. It is unbelievably pigmented. I don't wipe it off. It doesn't say whether you're supposed to. Usually you're supposed to like wipe it off, but I don't. After I saw how incredibly gorgeous it is without taking it off. It's just unbelievable. But I do want to show you one more thing before I get to my lips and then finally finish everything. I like to use my ColourPop pressed glitter, and I'll just put a little bit on the tip of my fingernail and put it right in the center here. That is just a me thing. I think it just brightens the eye and it just makes you look kind of magical in a way. I just love the effect that it has. And you just need just a little bit to create this stunning, magical, beautiful little glint of shimmer, you know? I love it. Just a little tip from me. So now I'm going to do my lip stain. And like I said, I use this one. It is, does it tell me what color it is? I don't know. Hime, H-I-M-E. Can you see that? I don't know. Anyway, let's get to it. All right, so I like a little fuller lip, and what's really cool about the lip stain is that it just makes your lips look fuller because you get to create the lines you want without looking like products sticking to different textures of your face. Like your lips obviously have a different texture than the rest of the skin around it, but with a lip stain, it's not affected like that, which is really cool, and that's why I really like it. Now that is pretty, right? Stunning. Love the shape, love the color, but I like to go just a little deeper. I just love this color. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just gonna put another layer on top. Now, as the day goes on, you will notice that it does fade here in the center, because you know, when you're eating or drinking, it's going to wear. What's funny is that it just ends up being like this really bright, bold lip liner, and you kind of, I don't want to say you look crazy, but you do look a little crazy. Okay, so I'm just gonna let that set. While I'm letting it set and just dry, I'm going to put on my final touch, which is going to take away all this shine. Now the shine comes really from the BB cream because it is a moisturizer. And I am an oily person. Actually, my first move will be to just kind of tap my skin with tissue paper just to take off excess. And like that helps with having that base, you know, and also not like letting it pile up. But as you can still see, there's no amount of blotting that is going to fix it entirely. You can see that it's even just sticking. And that's just existing. So now I'm gonna put on my Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless, what is it called? Powder. I'm just gonna tap it on. I tend to avoid the corners of my mouth because again, it is still healing and I wanna make sure that I don't dry it out. And this is very drying. Now, as you can see, for me, you can still sort of see the blemishes through even this. So sometimes I'll go in with a more fuller coverage, or I'll just go over it a few times with this in a more precise way. And I'll just tap it on. I never rub except on my neck because I don't care what the texture of my neck looks like. It's just gonna do whatever it's gonna do. That's pretty much it. And that is my skincare slash daily look. And I just wanted to share that with you because I got a few new products and I got a few new things added and subtracted from my routine, and I just thought I would give you an update on that. But oh my God, this color of the stain, I love it. And the way it stays, it's so gorgeous. Okay, so my teeth are a little stained. That's okay. I'll just scrape them off and it'll be good. Anyway, I hope you had an amazing day. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Until next time.